Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm back with another video, and in today's video, I'm going to be upgrading the Prelude sound system, rewiring, new speakers, more amps, more bass. But as y'all can see, it's on jack stands right now. I recorded why it's on jack stands right now, so I'd rather just play that for y'all real quick, so roll that footage. So this is completely unrelated to the video, but when I was driving this car, let me clean the oil off. It's a lot down there. I was driving the car, and I ain't gonna lie, I was ripping the fuck out of it, and oil light came on, so I immediately shut it off, and I checked the oil, and it was low, but it wasn't bad, so I ended up just saying fuck it and just creeping it home, and it made it fine. And I've been trying to diagnose, I don't have an oil pressure little gauge, so I'm like, all right, well, I changed the oil and I put a little bit heavier oil, 10W40. That didn't do anything. I ended up buying a switch. Obviously, I got the wrong one. As you can see, the wrong one. So I'm like, fuck it. One way to test for pressure, leave the sensor out and just see what happens. See if oil squirt out. The car ran for like 3 seconds, and that's the amount of oil that came out. So obviously it got oil pressure. Hey guys, I'm on my iPhone. I actually wasn't gonna record none of this because I've been so goddamn frustrated all day long. I was actually supposed to be working on my sound system today, but this happened, so I wanted to figure this out before I do anything else. Obviously it's nighttime now. I gotta clean up my mess. I'm gonna return the sensor. I'm gonna find the actual replacement for it. And I just wanted to let y'all know, because this is stuff that goes on with this car. You work on 90s cars, bro, they will literally give you the biggest headache, bro. But it's always a relief. Like, it's such a good feeling. Like, when you either figure out the issue or the issue ain't as bad as you think. I'm like, I made it home. Drove this car like 7 minutes, probably like 2 miles with that light on, just risking it because I don't be giving a fuck. And I'm like, if it didn't have oil pressure, I don't think it would have made it. So I'm like, I could go buy a gauge, or I could just replace the sender, because I had a Jeep and it had the same issue with the sensor went bad. We're going to resume to what this video is actually about. All right. So yeah, that happened. I'm going to go ahead and address that on its own. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take this radio out. I have made a video of me installing this radio, so if y'all want to see that, click the link in the top right corner and that'll take you to that video. Go ahead and watch that one and then watch this one. Just watch all of them. Alright, and there goes our rat's nest. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and remove this trim along the door jambs right here, all the way to the back. I'm going to remove the rear seats just to give me a little more room. That way we can run this wire and get these fronts hooked up. Got some RCAs that need to be ran, and go ahead and sound deaden this bad boy. So let's get it. Alright, so I don't know how to get a good camera angle, so I'm going to just use some Final Cut magic, and these are going to be off. What I tell y'all, that wasn't that bad. Now it's time to remove this pillar and the seats. And I noticed what's crazy is I forgot that whoever did the old radio ran a wire for to get the antenna working. They didn't even get the fronts amplified. So that's a little bit weird, but I'm gonna keep going. So I never noticed, but somebody already did what I'm doing. Listen, this is all sound deadener all around here. Alright, so I'm literally just gonna do trunk lid right here, the deck lid, and the back seats. But that was just unexpected. I didn't even see. Actually, it's a brand right here. Let's see what brand this is. This shit probably so old, but it's rock hard. So it should be good. So I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just leave this up in here because there's no reason to keep going. I need to get in there. I'm gonna vacuum and clean all that up. So I'm gonna jump back in the inside and I'll be back. Actually, change the game plan. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and run the wiring, the RCAs, and the speaker wire. Because if I go ahead and do that, then I can put the radio and all that stuff together. Even the camera, I'm gonna run that. And then after all that's done, then I'm gonna go ahead and throw some deadening back here. I figured I might as well do that so I can get all this back together. Plus, I'm ready to hear how it's gonna sound. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so I got all the wiring for this amp exposed. And I ain't gonna lie, this is hooked up a little bit weird. I'm over here trying to figure it out. They got fronts hooked up to the back, and like you got multiple wires coming off this speaker right here. They got the center speaker hooked up. There's a lot of stuff going on back here. So I'm just going ahead and get this figured out off camera. I might just start fresh and just cut all this off and then just rewire it, because this is a little bit confusing, but I will be back. All right, so I got it all rewired correctly this time. As you can see at the top, it's still like some old wires. I am eventually going to like just redo this whole trunk. I kind of want to do like a whole trunk setup back here. Speaking of trunk setup, I'm thinking, I have everything to put a subwoofer in here. We got power right here. We got ground right here. We got RCAs for sub right here. Remotes right here. Everything is right here. There's nothing stopping me from putting my sub in right now. So that's what I'm going to do. But I want to get the RCAs for the fronts wired up first, because they shut out to the front right there, but they're not actually hooked up, as you can see. And also the speaker wires to the front. I'm going to get that all situated first, along with the rear view camera, before I get sidetracked by putting my subwoofer in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that rear view camera up here. That way I can run that with the rest of the stuff and shit go from there. All right, so I got the rear view camera on the trunk. I got it going through the license plate light right there, nice and clean. And it's coming out from the back right here. Going down. Obviously, I'm going to clean this up, but I just got this hooked up with some other ear clips to the tail light harness, because I want to make sure that the wire I'm going into is the right wire for the reverse light. From what I found, I believe it's the green and black, and then the black for ground. So I just got it shoved up in there. But everything is all wired up back here. Even though it kind of looks like a mess, it's not really as bad as y'all think. We go to the front. Here's everything that needs to go to the radio. We have RCAs right here. Speaker wires for the front speaker. This wire right here coming up the rear view camera is to give the radio sense that the car is reversed, so the camera can come on automatically. So I'm gonna look that up and let's just see how it sounds. Oh my god. That is a rat's nest. Would y'all believe me that it actually looked worse when I got the car? But everything is all hooked up. The front speakers are hooked up now, amplified. All the RCAs are in. Rear view camera's hooked up. Literally everything. But I got to throw those mins that I made in a dash. And then once I do that, I mean, we can fire this up. Let's see what it sounds like. Alright, so I did record the entire process of making these boxes for the dash. And I decided I want to do a voiceover just to give you guys instructions in case y'all want to replicate this. So what I'm doing right now is I'm putting all the measurements on the wood and cutting it all out. The measurements for the box is the front and back is 3.5 by 3.5, and all four sides is 3.5 by 2 inches. So the whole box is held together with Elmer's wood glue and silicone, so you got to make sure you glue it well and also seal it well. Then I realized that the diameter of my tape is the cutout diameter of the woofer, so I basically used that as a template. I just literally circled right inside of the tape and cut it out. So I'm continuing to glue, make sure it's all glued. I'm using a Q-tip to get all the corners all deep in there. I'm cutting. Y'all see that? Got the first one dropping in the enclosure. Let's keep going. So everything I use will be in the description below. So if y'all want to do this, y'all can find everything on Amazon in the description. Now I'm using my drill to drill out the holes so I can screw the woofers into the front baffles. The front baffles are double baffled just to give it a little more strength. And I'm also using bass blockers to help the woofers take a little more power, taking all that bass out. I also line the inside of the boxes with some sound deadener to just give it a little bit of strength, give it a little more rigidity. And I'm also heating it up with a hair dryer, just because sound deadener usually needs a little bit of heat for it to harden up and give it the strength that, you know, sound deadener have. Now I'm sealing it up with silicone, just some basic silicone. Make sure it's airtight. Alright, so I'm outside. I'm finished just shooting with this black gloss enamel real quick. Just give it a coat. It don't need to be perfect. I just want them to be painted and not just raw wood. I might end up having to bring it in the house because it's so damn cold outside because of Midwest. So I'm just shoot these up real quick and call it a day. Alright, shout out my boy Martell. I need that copyright free music. He got that shit. So let's see how it sounds. Let's go ahead and turn it up. Alright, so it sounded like amazing. Like, it's a huge difference from how it sounded before, I ain't gonna lie. Those three, you could damn near do like a 3.5 if you really wanted to. You just have to really cram them up in the 3 fit perfect, 3-inch speaker fit perfect. It's handling the power perfectly fine. I still gotta, tweak the EQ, but it's not really much I can do until I get that sub in there. So that's gonna be the next thing that we need to do real quick. But for right now, I've been out here for about 5 hours. I'm finna run in the house. I gotta piss so bad. And then I'm finna go ahead and get this radio back together, put all this stuff back together because I don't need to get back there anymore. So just clean up that mess right there. And then just organize some of this stuff. I might call it for the night, or I might come back out here and go back busy. But I'll pick up the camera and I'll let y'all know in the next clip what I do. Alright, so having an issue where the front channel is not working or just coming in and out. It could be a couple of things from what we're looking at right here. It could be that. Let me get some light in here. Yeah, it could be that. Mind you, this is how the car came. I'm not taking no responsibility on none of this. What I've been doing is just like fixing the things that's been wrong with the car. And this is something that's been wrong with the car for a while. I'm just going to go ahead and clean all of that up. All of that's going to get cleaned up. As best as I can. Another thing I noticed is on the back of the radio, the little metal bar right there. You can see that right in the middle. The RCA's bend against this. And I don't know if that's like, this radio's old as hell. Like, it's probably from like 2012, 2013. And I don't know if over time, like, it messed up the actual terminals on the radio, but I'm gonna need a new radio soon. So that could be an issue right there, but I need to clean that up too. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. It is 10:52 and I ain't ate. I still gotta cook. I'm gonna just get up in the morning with a fresh head, and I'm just go through that, and I'm gonna make it as clean as possible. I wanted to show y'all this too. I put the sub in the trunk, just messing around. See how I look? I didn't realize how little this trunk was, but I want to do something nice with the trunk. So if wires aren't ever exposed or anything, that's because this is a working process. I plan on doing a lot, but we'll talk about that at a later date. Alright, so it's the next day, and today I am going to clean this up. It honestly isn't as bad as it looks. It just needs to get cleaned. So I'm going to just rewire that. Plus, I'm going to swap the front RCAs out. I got some new RCAs right here. Honestly, I forgot that I had this, but this got some fresh RCAs in there. So I'm going to use those. And that should fix the cutting out issue. It was also sparking and shit last night. I'm like, oh no. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take the time to go through this wiring. And everybody who messes with wiring know that this sucks. Especially if you're not the one who originally created this mess. But I'm gonna just clean it up as best as I can. Get the new RCAs ran and do that off camera. So I'm gonna be back. Whew, god damn. Wiring is complete. So, I don't know how different it's going to look to y'all, but it is a lot better. I deleted a lot of unnecessary shit, which is right there. Some of it is actually on the ground and in the garbage already. But, yeah, I just clipped up a lot of shit that didn't need to be there anymore. Since all the speakers are amplified, there's no speaker wires that need to be coming off any harness in here. So, I got rid of all that. It's a lot of redundancy, like I said. With the power antenna, you need remote and a constant 12. It was a whole bunch of spices and all type of stuff going on back there. So I just clipped all that up. And I ran some new RCAs, well, just one new RCA, and I fixed the cutout issue. So right now, shit is looking good enough to put back together. So I'm finna go ahead and throw this ball back together, like the radio and all this trim right here. I need to go run and get some more fuses because, like I said last night, we was getting a little sparky. So I need to go run and get some more fuses. So there's a lot of stuff I need to get done. I'm finna just start by putting this radio and all this stuff back together because this is done now. All right, so we're back, and it's a new day, and now it's time to go ahead and complete this project. So now I want to go ahead and throw this Pioneer up in here with the Sundown E12. Like I said earlier in this video, thank God everything is already back here, so I don't have to wire anything. Go ahead and bang that out real quick, and then go from there. Alright, so technically it's all hooked up. If I plug it up, it should play. But I want to get this inside done first before I get to messing around. The rear seats is still not in the car, so I want to get the rear seats in, clean everything up, vacuum it out, and then test it.
Why you all up in my grill? Asking me about a chick that I don't even really feel. I know Lil' Mama from way back. We just friends and that's it. You insecure cause she thick. Fat ass hips and big lips. That type of thing not my problem. Pardon me for disregarding. I'm just trying to ball hard like I play up at the Garden. I can't focus on the future for us if you stay on that goofy shit. Bugging about stupid shit. Girl, get it together or I cannot do this shit. Get a nigga stretched out, train straight from the bottom to the fifth to the hino. I want you drunk again, you know. Make love all night until the KO. This argument is like a day-o. If you say so, I'm done talking about it. Case closed, you want grace. All because you couldn't stay in that place. I've been drunk on the E-way. Trying to make it home safe. Praying today won't be my day. I had to get up out of there before I get my head spin. Steady tripping and won't let me get a word in. Like if y'all really obvious friends, how come you never mention me in conversations? Why she sending you emojis? Where's your reply? Are you really faithful to me or is that a lie? That's why I feel and I ain't even done no games. I'm trying to feel with you.
Oh yeah. Alright, so we're finally done. We're done. It's a lot more I still gotta do. First off, shout out to my boy Martell DB for letting me use this music to test out my system. Make sure y'all go give his music a listen on Apple Music, Spotify. Check him out on Instagram, all that. I need y'all to really go mess with him. Cause I mean, I'm using this music so we can all see how my system sounds. As y'all seen, I don't have the tweeter covers on because they're kind of muffled. So what I realized is these little holes that I put in there is not good enough. If you do replicate this, like I said earlier in the video, just cut out a huge square. So I'm gonna end up just having to redo these, and I'm just gonna literally cut square. I'm gonna cut all of that out. That way it's completely hollow. And all the sound can travel through. Also, I want to do a complete trunk setup in the trunk. That's why it's wires everywhere. Everything's exposed. I didn't try to put any effort to make it look nice because all that's gonna come back out so I can do my nice trunk setup. To let y'all into my vision, I plan on making a false floor with the amps underneath the floor with the glass on top of it, the acrylic. That way you can see it through the floor and it kind of looks like it's floating. I want to put lights all in there. I just want to to make like a really nice, really clean, simple trunk setup. So that's why I didn't put any real effort to make that look nice. Another thing, I still need to tune it. This is just a test. I just wanted to put everything together that I had just to see how it sounds. I really need to sit down and listen to some music and really just tune everything. It's not even turned up. The amp not turned up back there. The sub amp. I actually got the mids and highs turned down on the radio. Everything is like turned down safely. That way I don't blow anything or I don't put too much stress on the stock electrical system, because I need to check the voltage to make sure I'm not pulling too much power. I don't want to pull too much power out of this car. It's not a very loud system. In total, this is probably like 1,000 watts on the mids and highs, so it's not too bad. But I don't want to push this system. It's completely old. I don't want to do too much. But that's pretty much a wrap. I know this video was long. If y'all made it all the way to the end, I really need y'all to let me know that y'all made it all the way here by leaving comments, liking this video, subscribing, doing everything y'all can do to show love, because this is one video, but this is taking over 3 weeks to make. Like, y'all don't understand. And it's cold as hell. And I'm finna do a quick 7 days straight at work. So I'm over here running on fumes. But, you know, I love this stuff. I love YouTubing. I love working on my car. So I ain't complaining. But I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go right there. Thanks for watching. And subscribe for more coming soon. Thanks.